What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PixelPlay Sidequest, your bonus content here on YouTube. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical, joined as always, Jin and Chris. How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you? This is the first time we're recording this.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
that.
Nothing went wrong, and we're not redoing this at all. Anyways, SEGA Saturn, that console. You're all like, why are you acting
Yeah.
like you've done this before? Because we have, but you don't know that yet. So yeah, we're going to talk about 3 games that we want to remake here on from this console. A lot of forgotten games, a lot of gems. I'm going to start right off with Shining of the Lost Ark, which is something that I don't think a lot of people know about. Let me just quickly pull that up here on video side. Did I already forget the title of it? I think I did. I think I'm already jumping over myself here. Shining the Holy Ark. Thank you. Thanks, Brain. Good to know that, I'm after like literally saying this title like 20 minutes ago, I forgot it again. So essentially, JRPG first person made by the Golden Sun guys. I mean, if you're looking at the font, it looks kind of familiar. Honestly, like the big thing that gets it for me is the art style. It definitely looks like a game that you could almost see, like, you just give it a slight fresh coat of paint. This could be a Steam game for like 15-20 bucks easy.
Oh, 100%. And if they just cleaned it up a little bit, like maybe a faster frame rate and that kind of stuff, I would play the crap out of this. It's like Fantasy Star meets Golden Sun.
Yeah, like I did a lot of research on this to try to find like, because obviously like we had our staples. You have your Daytonas, you have like, different other like classics that people would remember on it. But like I wanted to go like find like, okay, what's stuff that I haven't seen? Like what are games that are completely unfamiliar to me? And I saw this and went, holy shit, this is that. Like this is the one that I'm like, man, if this, even if it was just a quick like up-resing and it was released on Steam for 20 bucks, I'd get it tomorrow.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. This would, especially if it kept the same vibe, that same Camelot look, if you will.
Yeah,
I'd be all over that. I'd play that on my Steam Deck. I'd play it on my TV. I'd play it everywhere.
for
That looks
sure.
like a game I would love to have today because let's face it, that kind of JRPG just does not exist right now.
No.
It just does not.
And I mean, if it does, it's generally like almost RPG Maker-esque. So it's, I
Yeah.
mean, there are diamonds in the rough through there, but I think a lot of people just kind of turn their brain off immediately to even looking at RPG Maker looking
Yeah.
games because they just think it's probably just some half-ass thing that somebody made on a whim.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
All right, what do you got?
So for my first one, this is my most important. It's one I play every single Christmas, which is Nights into Dreams. Nights as in like nighttime, not nights like the soldiers. It is a game I've been playing every Christmas for, actually, I think it's like 15 years. I think when you and I talked before, I said 13, but I think it's about 15 years that I've been playing this once a year, every single year. And when I say I play it every year, I mean it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not very long. The game is insanely cool to me. It's got a really cool vibe. The music is probably the best part of it. And the art style. The game does not control very well. It does take getting used to. You're doing a lot of circles and stuff. It's a pre-made track that you're on, and you can really just go up and down and create circles and whatnot. The idea is collect enough orbs to unlock some jail or something. I think it's like a big jail, looks like a fish tank. And when you have enough of the orbs collected in the level, you can break that fish tank and you move on to the next part of the level. Do that 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden you are at an end boss. Sometimes mostly it's like going from the side with like a 3D view. The odd time it will change to where it's directly behind you. It's not very long. It has not even 10 levels. I think it is less than 10 levels. And each level, when you go through all 4 parts and the boss, probably 30 minutes in total, not even, maybe 20. Especially once you know what you're doing. It's just pretty easy to go through. But again, it's just like once you get used to it and you can actually just go in and hear the very whimsical, dreamlike music and see the art style and everything. I don't know. It's just such a fantastic experience. And
It feels like a very vibe game.
yeah, it's a very vibe game. And there's a free, well, it wasn't free back on the Saturn. It was a separate like DLC, but separate game. It was the first level, but with a Christmas skin, and it was called Nights into Christmas or Christmas into Dreams or something like that. And it was, or I think Christmas Dreams. I think it was just called that. Either way, it's one level, but it is fantastic, and that's the reason I replay it every single Christmas. I have my save going on Steam. It doesn't have a save cloud, so I actually have to keep the game installed, which is annoying. But yeah, I go in and I play that first level or that one Christmas level every single December at some point. I try and do it as close to Christmas as possible. It's like a Christmas tradition that I do. And yeah, I love it. So definitely my number one. And I would love them to remake it and just like fresh coat of paint it, you know? Just bring that up to a more modern day, but with the same feeling and not Balan Wonderland or whatever the hell that was.
Well, we try not to talk about that.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so less talked about that we kind of forget what it's called sometimes. Because I still can't remember if it's Balan Wonderland or Wonder World.
Oh gosh, I think it's Wonder World. Balan Wonder World. Yeah, I think you're
But
right.
you see what we mean? Like that's how much we don't care.
I do not care.
It's so bad.
Oh,
So I'm going to briefly shout out Dragon Force, but the more that I think about it, the more that I'm kind of like leaning more towards Guardian Heroes now, which we like haphazardly mentioned, but didn't really. Whereas now in retrospect, Guardian Heroes looks way cooler. I think I'd actually go with that instead, just because of the visual vibes for it. Like the visual vibes of Dragon Force was interesting too, but like this game being more of a like a sort of beat 'em up sort of side scrolling game with some pretty sleek like animations for what that time would have been for the Saturn. Considering we're talking like 90s. I think it's a really interesting title. It's a game that I know a lot of people who have played and owned it growing up swear by it. Similar to how like we won't mention Panzer Dragoon, but that's another one that like people swear by those games. And Guardian Heroes is one of those ones that whenever I see people talk anything about the Saturn, it always comes up. It just seems like it's one of those top 5 games that just no one really knows about anymore because it's like a lot of things from that console. It's just gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I also feel like the character on the screen right now, Randy, has a little bit of Mischief Makers from the N64 of a vibe. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's definitely got like a Saturday morning cartoon sort of vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would 100% play this. I would love if it was remade and then obviously had a whole bunch of like online co-op or something for the characters or for the game. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
For sure. Yeah, that's like I still think Dragon Force is an interesting one, and people should look up that footage too because it's very interesting. It's almost like a tactical JRPG, not in like a Project Triangle strategy sort of deal or Fire Emblem, but more like in a here's your army and go set them. So it's almost like kind of in the way that you did like tower defense games in a way. It looks like I'm not 100% sure because I never played it myself, but that's kind of the vibe that I got from it.
Nice.
Anyways, what's your next one?
So speaking of tactical RPGs, my next one is Shining Force 3. I've never actually played as Shining Force myself. Maybe I touched the first one, I can't remember. But I've watched it a lot, and I know it's right up my alley, at least the first 2. I had never really seen footage of the third one until very recently when we were talking about this podcast, actually, as an idea. But as soon as I realized there was a third Shining Force and then started looking at it, I was like, yes, I need this as well. I think that Sega could bring back a Shining Force trilogy remake, like put all 3 games together, one package, $39.99 or something like that. Canadian, I'm talking, so probably cheaper, obviously in US.
I mean, like best we can get is we can probably put it as like one of the games in a Yakuza game. Like it'll be a Sega game inside a Yakuza game.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be better than playing like the same like 10 classics that no one really actually enjoys playing that much. It's the thing. Whenever they put Mega Drive games in there, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then I see the list of them and go,
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to actually sit and play
I'll go back to the arcade and just play Virtua Fighter over and over again or something. Or Super Hang-On.
But yeah, I think that this game, obviously the visuals are very PS1. I don't think they hold up as nicely as Shining Force 1 and 2, which were more Pixel Genesis.
Quest 64 vibe if you like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do. But yeah, I can understand that it's actually not great. And also, I'm sure, frame rate doesn't look great on this as well. Whereas on Shining Force on Genesis, it did look a lot more smooth and stuff.
Are you saying early stages of 3D games didn't run that well?
They did not. They did not. This looks like Harvest Moon 64 as a tactical RPG a little bit, and or Quest 64, I don't know. But yeah, like I would just love a fresh coat of paint on this. Maybe some quality of life improvements. Definitely a fresh coat of paint. And I put the whole trilogy together, and I think that would be a fantastic thing Sega could release, because they're great at releasing things like Sonic, obviously. But they have so many IPs that they could lean into, and this is obviously, I think this is one of them that Sega technically is the owner of the IP still. So
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be great.
that's
I would
definitely
love
one to
that.
look out for. I'm gonna throw a light gun game in, and the reason for that is because, well, I grew up with them. I can't get enough of them. And look, Time Crisis, that's a whole other ball game that came out on Play. I don't know if it ever came out for other consoles. I'm trying to think. Maybe maybe it did for Dreamcast or something. I don't know. But Virtua Cop, completely out of left field, would be mine. Where it was, I do remember playing that a lot also in arcades. But like this one is just one of those games where it's like, it just scratches that itch. It makes me want to be 10 years old again and going back into arcades and pretending I was actually like James Bond.
Yeah.
Because I certainly wasn't doing that played in GoldenEye with slaps only on. That's not the same thing.
The real James Bond. Oh god, just this on rail shooter like this. I need this.
It's just, I wish more of these would come back. I know obviously you can't do it the same way because of obviously arcades just being not really as much of a thing anymore. I think with man, if we could really nail down VR, obviously that's still like, assuming that the industry stays with it, that's still something that we're talking like end of the decade sort of deal. But man, I would kill for a VR House of the Dead game that was like solid,
Yeah. Yeah. Also in these games, I just started to realize how these enemies just run out in front of you. Like,
what? Are you saying that, I understood that the best way to hide from getting shot was to take my foot off of the pedal. Are you telling me that that's not how I'm supposed to dodge?
Well, these enemies aren't dodging at all. They just run out into the middle of the screen before they even try and shoot you in some cases.
It's like how it's funny when people are like, oh, I'm a really good shot, but all they've ever done is gone to a gun range. And you're like, yes, because all we know is every person will do this. And just go in a straight line towards you.
And I also love the hostages in these games because they just like come out of nowhere from behind a box. Like, don't shoot me. It's like, why don't you just stay behind the box?
Look.
Why did you have to run out in front to be an obstacle right now?
Look. How else are you supposed to lose points if
like
they
this
actually
one on the
hide?
Screen right now. What is that person doing?
Doing their best, okay, Chris? Doing their best.
Like, I'm free. Don't shoot me. I'm just gonna run through the middle of this firefight.
I mean, it's like the guys in House of the Dead. At least they're sort of trying to escape, and then you realize, wait, no, they're moving at such a snail pace. Yeah, you know what? You deserve to get bit.
Such a good idea. I love those kind of games. Well,
but that leaves you with your last one. So what you got?
For my last one, I've got Sonic R because
Speaking of games that ran really bad.
I feel it needs another chance. It has a fantastic theme song and a cool, like on paper, it's kind of a cool idea. It's like a 3D Sonic race. Sonic 3 and Sonic 2 and stuff had it where you could do 2-player and you'd like race to the end.
Actually kind of fun.
Yeah, like you'd race to the end of the levels, and Sonic 3 had like unique ones. There was like Balloon Park and stuff like that, I think it was called. Like they were unique levels designed specifically for just 2-player who can get to the end the fastest. And it's kind of like a 3D version of that mixed with the idea that Mario Kart existed. And they're probably trying to do something unique so they didn't just copy Mario Kart.
Could have copied Diddy Kong Racing because it literally came out a couple of days after this game.
They could have copied literally anything and it would have been better than what came out, but I still think it's a cool idea. And you got the Chaos Emeralds on the track and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it needs another chance. And Sonic Racing, Transformed and whatever the heck all of them are called, they're great. They're a lot of fun. I look forward to the new one. But I feel like this game needs another shot. And basically they should change all of it, start from scratch and just keep the theme song and the basic premise. But I don't know. I feel like this could still be something if we gave it another shot. Well, yeah, I'm also biased
in the back of the head, so he put it out of its misery.
I have the shrine behind me that shows that I'm a little biased, but no, Adam, it needs its chance. All Sonic games need their chance. 2 chances. This one had its first chance. It needs another one.
Chris, Sonic has had more than 2 chances over the years.
Hey, Sonic Unleashed has been re-released on PC with like really great
Chris, Sonic
like
06
frame rates.
took 3 chances away from its lifetime. That game alone was 3 chances.
Well, people are loving Sonic Unleashed again all of a sudden because it came out again. Somebody fixed it and put it back out there. So this deserves the same
then we
treatment.
might as well just work on Sonic the Black Knight next, right?
Oh no, we shouldn't. No, we should. Okay, I take it all back. This at least still holds the like charm of Sonic in general. It's just the
And
Sonic
at least has
characters
really
and they're
good music.
running.
We'll give it that.
And the music. Yeah, Sonic becoming a knight and then finding the 7 rings from a genie and turning into a werewolf. That was a weird time. Okay, it was really weird. But this was just them running. That's what they're supposed to do. It makes sense.
Sonic is just a teenager that like goes through its phase and then grows up. But then it goes back into a time like something like Benjamin Buttons it. It goes back to just pre-teenage and then goes through that phase again. And then it gets older and then goes right back again.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's a great game, probably. It wasn't when I tried it before, but I'm sure if you can figure it out, now I'd be on the awful block on GameStop.
I mean, well, look, hey, if they remake it, you never know, right? That's what this video is all about. But that is our 6 picks. Honorable mention to Daytona USA, because of course, but hey.
Daytona.
We really just want the arcade machines back. Like, I don't really care nearly as much to play it again on console, but look, it is what it is. But yeah, that's our picks. A lot of hidden gems, a lot of games that like, look, it was hard coming up with the list, but honestly, found some cool stuff in the wake of doing that. So you know what, I'll take that. We'll have the N64 and the PS1 up next. Obviously, we'll finish with handhelds like we seem to be doing now with the GBA, but that'll be a couple of weeks from now, depending on how our schedules work out. But that's going to do it for this. So obviously here on YouTube, like and subscribe. You got the link tree there at the bottom of the screen. Obviously a link to our Discord, all that jazz. Obviously our shows are every Fridays here for Sidequests. Obviously Wednesdays for the main show. Well, most weeks, unless Nintendo throws a new console out. But I think we got a little bit of a chance for that not to happen for a little while longer. But alas, we will see you on the next episode. So take care. Bye-bye for now.